Speaking of She Got Game, Caitlyn Clark, we was just talking about rough first week. They had her on first start in the WNBA period. And I haven't really been tuned in on it because I don't want to get caught up in the theatrics of it all. But this is what I'm always going to say. I said this before she took one dribble into the WNBA, is she's going to do exactly like Wardell 30. They had all these different expectations and saying that they wasn't going to be this and she wasn't going to be that and he wasn't going to be able to do this and his whatever the deficiency was, he became the face of the league and the franchise of his team and changed basketball forever. So I think Caitlyn Clark is on that same trajectory. So it's interesting to watch how she's handling it. And I actually like how she's handling it. But I've been seeing a lot of comments that's similar to what Angel Reese was getting, but they were feeling like that black people were being picked on. Black women were being picked on. Like it was unfair. So now I'm seeing it happen to Caitlyn Clark. So it's happening on both sides. But I've been kind of staying out of the weeds to see what's going on. But I did see this clip right here, and it kind of gave me some introspective of how she's handling it. And I want to know what you guys think.
Victoria Vivian's an old Indiana Fever player.
You think Caitlyn want that smoke?
She needs to defend herself.
Yeah.
I'm okay with like, look, nothing malicious was done on either side. Like you're gonna have talking on both sides. Hey, stand. You know, hey, when you're walking down the court, you guys want to flap gums. The camera always gonna be on her though. Like they're always gonna have an ISO camera on her, so you know it's gonna be heavily magnified, and that comes with the territory. But she can't afford to back down in a competitive sense.
I see a lot of players that actually, you know, get ran up on, and they might not stand down, but they don't stand up. And what she looked like was she was standing up for herself. Like she looked like it wasn't no punk in that. You know what I'm saying? She looked like you ain't gonna be talking to me like I'm some white girl on the court. For real. Like I ain't saying she was gonna fire on her or whoop on her and nothing. All I'm saying is she looked like she wasn't gonna back down. She looked like she knew something that the other girl didn't know. Like
all she was saying was, "I'm here."
Yeah, they just exchanging words. It ain't like they was. I mean, players do that all the time.
No, you don't see no white girls doing that to no black girls. Stop it.
It ain't even gotta be. Why is it gotta be about black and white? It's they
athletes. Because it is. Do you see it happen?
I mean, there's a couple white girls on a basketball court. I see that. Diana Taurasi most notably comes to mind, but Paige Buchers at UConn, Kelsey Plum.
You talk a lot, so there's not much else to say, except I'll steal your girl, and I'm not even gay.
Formerly Miss Darren Waller, auto-tune goofball. Kelsey Plum, she'll stand there and be like, "You really want to do this?" But yeah, typically, you know, you don't see it often. You don't see it often.
Crush know that. I don't know why he's sitting up there playing, because it's a difference between when a white player does it and a black player does it. Let's not act like we ain't been on the pod in a while and we can't keep it 1,000, because it is a difference. Now, should it be a difference? I don't know. I wouldn't say no, especially with the skill levels that's changed now. It's not dominated by one race like it used to be, but let's not act like that. Most times, that's not the same demeanor of her walking away when she was getting the ring in her face. That's not the same demeanor. Now that people were saying that she was going to be playing with the big girls and they was going to be doing this to her and she was going to have to go through all that, it looked like she's standing on business to me, like business decisions.
Did she get fouled hard or something? What happened?
No, they have been going at it. The two. They've been going at it for essentially, if I'm recalling the game correctly for the clips that I had seen, they had been going at it for quite some time, and it was just it just came to a boil. And you can't even say that's much of a boil because then nothing happened.
Nah, it's like
Like
one.
they're just talking smack. They're talking smack.
Well, that's comparable to a basketball fight because the only thing you're gonna see in a basketball
Yeah,
fight is a push.
but her teammate came right out. She grabbed her, and it's one of them things. Like, yeah, the other girl used to be on the Fever, but this could be just simply a case of her. Like some people look at it and be like, "Oh, she protecting the other girl. Used to be teammates and stuff," or this could very well be her grabbing her and saying, "Hey, we need you in this game." Like, you can't be having you get texts and 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 do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like
Right.
just back away.
Yeah, I think she knows where that fine line is.
Mm,
She's not one of those type of players that has to play on edge like that. I think
mm.
we just seen the side of her that that we didn't know that she had like that because she never displayed it like that. And now,
She has gotten teed up a couple times by officials for John Adam. Like she's giving it to the officials. Like she's whew.
yeah, and then her dad, and it was times like when her dad told her to hush thy mouth and all that, you know. But I'm saying the way she's going with other players, though. I'm saying like the
Mhm.
dynamic of she's not going to be bullied on the court. Like she's
Right.
showing that.
Mhm.
And the thing is, I think her learning curve is going to be faster than what Wardell 30's learning curve was. Because it took him some time. Because I think because the game is a lot more progressive when it comes to that, doing that.
Mhm.
Um, but that's not to be compared to them. What I'm saying in the sense that after about year 2, year 3, she'll be dominating the league. Like after about year 2, year 3.
Especially if the Fever stay as bad as they are this year and they get the number 1 pick next year, and you telling me that she gets her and Paige Buchers or her and Juju?
No, no,
Mm.
no. I think the Golden State Warrior girls gonna get the number 1 pick next year. We enter the WNBA next year. I think we get the number 1 pick.
But look at it this way: if you got Juju and Paige, and Indiana finishes last, they're getting one of the two. You pair either of them up with her. Hmm.
Talking about box office must see for sure.
I'm talking if people are getting pissed off that the Fever are on this much now, and the Caitlyn Clark talk is really all hype now. Just wait. Wait till they end up in the playoffs and they end up, smashing teams left and right. I mean, if we're being straight up and honest, there's only really 3 super good teams in the WNBA as it is. That's Connecticut, New York, and Vegas.
What
Mm-hmm.
Brittany Griner doing? Ain't she, ain't
Nothing.
she ain't she having a baby or something?
I
Or her wife having a baby or whatever?
Yeah,
Nice
watch your mouth.
catch. Nice catch there. Nice catch.
Watch your mouth.
Saves like that.
Watch your mouth, dude. We ain't trying to get bad.
I wasn't using my head. I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah. Please don't cancel me. Um. I haven't seen anything, and you know what? That's another reason why the WNBA needs to be like, hey, we got stuff like this going on. We can talk about Caitlyn Clark rather than someone that was holed up in Russia for the better part of a year.
well, I think they thought that was going to be a PR move to help the WNBA because they kind of had to do it.
If now see, here's where I'm gonna get into this, and you kind of know in our little here's a hint out there. We actually do have a private group chat that we talk about things in, ladies and gents, if you were unaware. But in the private chat, I alluded to this where it's like a lot of WNBA players are extremely short-sighted and they react a certain way, and they really shouldn't because Caitlyn Clark, whether you like it or not, is opening all kinds of doors. And they want to talk about how they now getting charter flights, but it ain't because of her. It's exactly because of her. And all these sponsorship money that come pouring in all of a sudden. You think that's a coincidence? And there ain't no guarantee that the money and everything is going to keep coming in. So, like you said earlier, strike while the iron's hot. You need to get your money while the iron's hot instead of worrying about Caitlyn Clark and doing and wanting to bash and do all this. Do your thing, get your money, because then maybe you won't have to go to Russia to make a decent income, and you get busted with drugs and you can't get out of there and you in prison. Just a thought. Maybe you can make it over here. I'm not saying it's going to last, but you never know.
Yeah, they better take care of that girl because, like you said, to keep them from going overseas, you gotta protect the cash cow because you never know how long it's gonna last or anything like that. But shout out to Angel Reese because she is out there balling and she playing stronger than I thought she was gonna play. And she picked up quicker than I thought she was gonna pick up too. So shout out to her because when you right, I'm with you, and when you wrong, I ain't. But I'm with
Isn't
you
she?
on this one.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't she teammates with that girl from South Carolina now?
She
I
is.
think, yeah. So I mean, that's a formidable duo there. So I mean, and they're doing pretty well. But like, I like what Vegas came out and said. Like Becky Hammon and Asia Wilson came out and said about like Caitlyn and all the backlash and stuff. More teams and more players need to be coming out with that type of message rather than the innuendos that they trying to make on social media and the indirect shots and stuff like that. Because that's not protecting the best interest. I mean, I get it. You don't want to think that this girl is you know, but you tear her down to the degree that you're trying to tear her down. That's going to affect you financially. Like you realize you're hurting your own pocket, and that is not a good business decision that you're making.
Yeah, look, why you think the NBA protected Jordan the way they did? It
Mm.
wasn't just because I mean, he had to be good enough for them to ride his coattail to do that, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, they understood we're gonna protect the brand. If the man want to go play baseball for whatever the alleged reasons, and then come back, we're gonna let him do that. He can come back mid-season if he want to, and because they knew that even people that wasn't even Bulls fans loved the Bulls. Well, nobody tripping on the Bulls, but they became a household name.